Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Mike, physical therapist. Today I wanted to talk about the single most important exercise that I believe every aging adult should master. Now, if you master this exercise, this will improve your balance, your coordination, and even the strength in both of the legs. Now, I'm a physical therapist who works with patients between the age of 40 all the way to sometimes over 100 years old. And one thing is for sure is that I realize and I see very quickly how patients lose the ability to react, especially if they fall out of their base of support or they're tipping forward. They lose the ability to catch themselves going sideways or forward. They also lose the ability to balance on one leg, which we know balancing on one leg is extremely beneficial for using the stairs, being able to walk without a limp, and just simply staying strong with our legs, being able to just stand up from various surfaces like benches or even any surface or chair that is inside your house. So today I wanted to teach you the single leg Romanian deadlift, also known as a golfer's lift. The reason why this is so important is it puts you in a staggered position. We know that in order to feel safe when we're balancing, we tend to have a wide base of support. If our base of support is nice and wide, we feel stable. And if we're pushed in any typical direction, you feel strong in that position. But when we start to challenge you with the very narrow base of support, or even have you go on one leg, and now this is where the demand changes on the exercise, and you're required to use a lot of your vision as well as your proprioception in your lower body and in your feet to help keep you stable while you're practicing this. So when we get started, you're gonna start in a staggered position. Now, if you need to, for extra support, you can be doing this near a surface like a counter to hold on to. And so I'm gonna show you without any support. Now, the most important thing here is we're focusing on keeping a nice tripod at my foot right there. And so if we're thinking about the bottom of our foot, the pressure should be distributed through our big toe, our small fifth toe, as well as the heel. So you should almost feel like your arch is lifting and you're staying nice and balanced. If you tend to collapse or lean more towards the inside of your foot, this exercise is going to be extremely difficult for you. So you want to make sure you have a nice tripod, especially with that front foot, okay? Now the back foot is not going to matter because I'm going to show you in a bit what's going to happen with that back leg. Now, the single leg Romanian deadlift, what we're doing is we're focusing on working on hinging at the hip, and now we go from being supported by double limbs or two legs to now a single leg. So this is where it gets very challenging, okay? So if you need support, once again, use it, but you're going to be balancing on one leg, and you're going to start to hinge or bend at the hips as you're reaching down for that bottom leg. Now, the important thing to keep in mind is you do want a slight bend in the knee, and you also want to make sure that your hip stays square. When people typically perform this exercise, we tend to have people go down, and because they're weak through their glute muscles in the back there, they tend to kind of let their pelvis tilt outward like that. You're just defeating the purpose of this exercise. So you're gonna stay nice and squared. You're gonna take that back leg off the ground, slowly reach down towards your foot. And I like to keep my hands close to my leg because that keeps my torso and my chest nice and tall as I hinge through my hip. If I just reach down in front of me, notice that my neck and my back tends to round. And so my posture is already out the door, and we're gonna have the tendency to kind of fall forward. So I wanna stay nice and balanced over my base of support, which is gonna be that front leg there. So as you're leaning forward just like that, back leg comes off the ground, I stay nice and squared through my pelvis, and I'm reaching down towards the ground, and then I'm coming up. Now some of this is gonna be limited by hamstring flexibility, and that's okay, you're just going to what you can control. But this will be a very challenging exercise that you can perform about 3 sets of 5 reps on each side. You may be using like a counter for support initially, and then as you improve your balance, you'll begin to let go and have better balance when you're doing this. Another alternative for this, we also call this a kickstand Romanian deadlift or kickstand RDL. So instead of raising your back leg off the ground, we can be supported by both legs. So this is a little bit easier. And now you're still working on the same thing here, okay? You're still hinging at the hips. You're still keeping your hands down at your side. And you're gonna feel very quickly after multiple reps, you're gonna feel the stimulus of your glutes working, also being in a staggered stance, very narrow base of support. It's gonna really challenge your balance and your coordination. And that's why I believe if you master this exercise, this can make a huge impact on your balance and on your strength, okay? So going back to this staggered stance or kickstand RDL, once again, that back leg is supporting you. You're hinging at the hips, keeping a nice tall chest. You're reaching down towards the ground and standing up, okay? Now, if you have access to weights and this exercise becomes very easy for you, you can also use like a dumbbell or a kettlebell and hold that right in front of you to add a little bit load to the exercise and also to make it a little bit more challenging for you. So if we were to take a light kettlebell here, I place it in front of me, and we feel like our balance is good enough to go on one leg. We're gonna focus on that single leg RDL. Now I have a slight bend in the knee. I'm gonna slowly take that leg behind me as I hinge at my hips, keeping the weight close to me, making sure I stay nice and squared with my pelvis, and I'm gonna stand back up, okay? I'm gonna go slow and controlled is the key here, because if you just go really fast, you'll notice it's very easy to have this poor coordination and not perform this exercise the way it's intended to be performed. So once again, I'll show you from the front end. You're gonna stay nice and balanced through that front foot, building a tripod with that foot there, okay? You're gonna stay squared with your pelvis, little bend in the knee as you hinge your hips and let that leg reach behind you. You're going as far as you can, and then you're standing back up. So not only is this gonna train you to be strong and balanced on one leg, but it's also gonna train you to see how well you respond to when you lose your balance and how you're going to regain your center of mass without tipping over. Guys, there you have it. The one exercise that I believe every aging adult should master. Trust me, if you continue to work on this exercise and you practice it, you will begin to add load with some weight. And this will be a great exercise that you can keep in your program to build longevity and health and to keep you strong and living life without any limitations. Guys, if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe below. And if there's any other topics you'd like for me to cover, please list them in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.